Hey guys, welcome back to the Rock Pop YouTube channel, your number one pit stop for all things Eurovision this year. And Super Saturday has finally finished, which means that I can react to a couple of songs, and today it's the turn of Ukraine with their entry for Eurovision 2024. Ukraine are undoubtedly one of the biggest powerhouse nations of Eurovision, along with Sweden themselves, who are hosting this year. They have never ever failed to qualify in any semi-final, and the rumours suggest that that is going to be the case again this year. But I haven't really heard anything in terms of what to expect song-wise, so I really am going into this blind. But this year they're being represented by Alyona and Jerry Heil, and the song is called Teresa Maria. These two have said that the song is about women who carry a titanic weight on their shoulders. It's meant to be quite a feminist, women supporting anthem, and honestly for that I am all in for it. Along with Nebulosa, I feel like this is the year of female empowerment, and who can be mad at that, honestly? This song received 62% of the public vote in Ukraine, which means it is overwhelmingly the song that they wanted to hear. So trust me, my hype levels are high that I'm coming in for another iconic Ukrainian entry. They must be one of my favourite countries at Eurovision. Shum, Shady Lady, Gravity. They are all in like my top 20 Eurovision entries of all time, like no joke. Also, before we get started, please do subscribe to this channel if you want to watch more of my Eurovision content. I've been growing quite nicely throughout this Eurovision season, but I can never be mad at having more people to discuss my favourite thing in the world with me, and that is Eurovision. Let's get into it. This is Alyona and Jerry Heil. The song is Teresa Maria. The fact that Ukraine are still able to actually hold this national final amongst everything that's going on in their country is just incredible to me. Like, so inspiring. Just from the chanty delivery of this, I'm already feeling something that feels authentically Ukrainian. What a vocal. From the way she's ripping her ear out and playing with her earpiece, I feel like she can't hear herself. How did she get on stage? I like this. They sound great together. This rap was unexpected, but I'm liking it. It's a very dynamic song. This is such an interesting song, lots of different elements to it, but they all work together in tandem. I feel like there's something going on with the sound here. I feel like the chorus could feel a little bit more powerful. It feels like they're struggling to hear themselves, I dare say. Ooh. This song kind of feels dark but positive at the same time. I love the juxtaposition of those two artists. I think they've both got very different qualities to their voice. Okay, that was a good first listen. I do like it, and immediately do like it. I think it's got a lot of charm to it. I'm not in love with it from first listen. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. I do know that this has got a lot of hype behind it, so I may be very unpopular in that opinion. And I am going to give them a little bit of grace because they kept playing around with their ears, which makes me think that they couldn't hear themselves. I thought the song sounded very current. I liked the way that their voices both offered something very different. We got something very sort of light, operatic, quite gentle from Jerry Heil's voice. But then when Alyona came in, there was a bit of strength and power behind that with the rap, and then the way that their voices came together on the chorus. I did like the way their vocals both worked differently. I definitely felt that sense of strength through the song as well. Not just because I've read the message beforehand, but I really could feel that sense of two women together, that they did feel like a punch behind that chorus. I just think maybe there could have been a bit more of attack, because I think while it does make it an immediate appeal of a very high quality song, I think it lacks just a little bit of something that makes it a wow moment. So it's great, but there's not that moment that really makes me want to immediately vote for it. Do you know what I mean? I do think it's another hit for them though. That's my immediate takeaway, is that this has definitely got jury appeal. It's got that real sort of natural quality that you, from a musical perspective, I think you can't ignore this. I think it definitely has a memorable melody. I think the chorus will stick in your head, and it has stuck in mine with it. I really like that I could immediately feel a sense of sort of cultural identity, that kind of chanty vocal that Jerry Heil gave at the start. I think you can hear in quite a few Ukrainian Eurovision entries, and that particular style always reminds me of Ukraine, so I definitely think it feels tied to their nation, something I always love about Ukraine. They have that an amazing knack of being able to make something feel current, whilst also infusing it with something that feels very personal and feels very, very much like it calls back to their cultural identity. And I think now more than ever, that must be so empowering as a Ukrainian person. And these two women are fantastic together, absolutely great representatives. And I can see why Ukraine would be all in for this and feel so hyped for it. So definitely elements that I do like, but I can't pretend it's going in as my favourite. From the entries that I've heard so far, I reckon this falls somewhere about 5th for me, somewhere middle of the pack, and I think it may work as a grower. I did really like the last 30 seconds as well, and the way that Jerry used her vocal. I think they definitely played with the flow of the song very well. It grew as the song came through. It kind of had that moment, obviously, we all talk about Jamala's growing tree and her staging and how inspiring that was and like what a moment that was. I do think the structure of this song has a real build that it allows the staging to have that same kind of moment. I'm not saying they do the same thing again, but I think there's ability for Ukraine to play with some really magical staging here because the song does inspire that. So yeah, my opinion, another top 5, another top 10 for Ukraine at Eurovision. But let me know in the comments down below, are you absolutely crazy for this song? Do you think it could be a Eurovision winner? Or are you not quite getting the hype? Do let me know. Give this video a like if you enjoyed what you saw, and hit that bell if you want notifications every time I upload a new video. Ukraine, you've provided me with another great entry, but for now, have a lovely rest of your day and good night.